It was a small, picturesque town nestled in the heart of New England, the kind of place where everyone knew everyone else, and where the local church, St. Agnes, stood as a beacon of hope and faith. But beneath its tranquil facade, a chilling and horrifying truth lay hidden. The story began with a young priest, Father Thomas, who had recently been assigned to St. Agnes Church. He was a devout man, eager to serve his congregation and spread the message of love and salvation. Little did he know that his faith would be tested in ways he could never have imagined. The first signs of something amiss appeared during his first few weeks at the parish. Strange occurrences were initially dismissed as coincidences. A flickering light in the confessional, the sound of footsteps echoing through empty hallways, and a chilling coldness that seemed to permeate the air at night. Father Thomas chalked it up to the old age of the church building, an ancient structure that had stood for centuries. He believed these odd happenings were nothing more than quirks of a historic building, until one fateful night. It was the night before Easter Sunday, a time when the church should have been filled with a sense of hope and renewal. Father Thomas had been preparing for the Easter service when he heard a mournful, ghostly voice echoing from the confession booth. It whispered words of despair and agony, words that sent shivers down his spine. Terrified, but determined to confront the source of the disturbance, Father Thomas opened the door to the confessional. To his shock, he found it empty, the only evidence of life being the faint scent of candles and incense. As he retreated from the confessional, the temperature in the church plummeted. Father Thomas watched his breath turn to frost in the frigid air, his every exhale a visible puff of white. Panic set in as he realized that something otherworldly was at play. Over the following weeks, the haunting escalated. Parishioners reported seeing shadowy figures in the pews during late-night prayers, their eyes hollow and their expressions filled with anguish. Others claimed to hear agonized cries emanating from the church's bell tower, despite no one being inside. Father Thomas decided to investigate the church's history, hoping to uncover some explanation for the supernatural occurrences. He learned of a grim and little-known chapter in St. Agnes' past. The church had once served as a makeshift hospital during a devastating epidemic in the 18th century. Hundreds of sick and dying patients had been brought to the church where they suffered and perished in excruciating agony. It was a place filled with death, despair, and unspoken horrors. Father Thomas couldn't help but wonder if the tormented souls of those who had died there were now haunting the church. Desperate for answers, Father Thomas sought the guidance of the local historian, an elderly woman named Margaret. She shared stories passed down through generations, tales of inexplicable occurrences and ghostly sightings at the church. Margaret believed that the souls of the epidemic's victims had never found peace and were trapped within the church's walls. Together, Father Thomas and Margaret embarked on a journey to bring closure to the restless spirits. They organized a solemn mass to honor the memory of those who had suffered and perished within the church's walls. Parishioners came together to pray for the souls of the departed, their voices echoing through the hallowed halls. As the mass concluded, a profound silence settled over the church. The temperature returned to normal, and the eerie presence that had plagued St. Agnes for so long seemed to dissipate. Father Thomas and Margaret believed that their prayers and the collective faith of the parishioners had finally brought peace to the tormented souls. In the years that followed, St. Agnes Church flourished once more as a place of solace and hope. The haunting had ceased, and the townspeople found comfort in the knowledge that their faith had conquered the horrors of the past. But Father Thomas never forgot the chilling experiences that had tested his faith. He remained at St. Agnes, serving his congregation with unwavering devotion and a deep understanding that sometimes the most horrifying truths lie hidden beneath the surface of the most sacred places.